Awesome. So getting into the actual commodities, we're looking at carbon steel here. So again, this is the United States price in white, the European price in blue, and then the Chinese price in orange. A couple months ago, you can see that Europe actually kind of led the charge higher on this second push up. That was all stemming from the Russia-Ukraine invasion. But similarly, Europe kind of figured out its situation. I mentioned the fact that Europe's also going through a little bit of a slowdown. So they're actually kind of leading us on the way back down as well. And you can see US prices are following suit. So where do we go from here? I've actually only got 2 slides on carbon just because it's been relatively quiet. I think some of the issues we see in a number of other commodities like energy, like diesel fuel, perhaps like food products, I would say is less of an issue within carbon. I think when we take a step back and we look at the production side of things within carbon steel, it may take time to get steel to various places, but we're not running out of it anytime soon. So clear heads are prevailing, prices are coming a bit back down to earth. And both of these charts, so the chart on the left and then the table on the right, kind of suggest we're going to land somewhere in a similar realm. And that is, let's call it roughly $900 to $1,000 for hot roll. So the futures curve on the left-hand side is basically saying we're going to be sub 1,000 by the time we get into late summer. And then over on the right-hand side, what we're looking at here is the first column is going to be the busheling scrap futures. So similar to hot roll coil, there is actually a busheling scrap futures market. It doesn't trade much, but it does exist, and we can use it to some degree to give a forecast of where traders think scrap is going to be. And if we use that scrap pricing, plug that into an electric arc furnace model, and I know historically we've used like $250, $275. I do want to give a little bit of, I guess I want to make a slight tweak to that model and suggest the idea that maybe $250, $275 might be a little tight of a spread that a mill should be willing to garner, because really they're seeing inflation as well. So, despite the fact that, they're producing steel and they can probably do so profitably at $250, they probably don't want to. And given the fact that we have natural gas prices at very elevated levels, we have wages on the up and up, things like silicon are tight. You could make the argument that the historical spreads that we've talked about, $250, $275, might be a little aggressive, but if we apply a $300 spread or maybe a $350 spread to the current busheling scrap futures market, that gives you kind of a fair value, again, similar to where futures are projecting, somewhere in the mid 900s. And I think that's, knowing what we know right now, that seems like where we're heading. Maybe not in a